But let me ask you a little more about the lawsuit and what's happening right now with California as it pertains to our federal tax dollars. So is it accurate that FRA has not changed any policy or procedures related to the grant since the court ruling?
We have not, I think that's accurate. We have not made any change to the grant agreement since the court ruling.
So even though a court has made the decision that there is no state match at this time, FRA is not taking any separate precaution on federal tax dollars?
I would not agree with your characterization, sir, of the court's decision. The court decision, and I'm a little reluctant to discuss a litigation to which we are not a party, but you have been advised by counsel to the CRS. The court decision did not say that the funds would never be available. It said that the authority has to...
It said currently, which, as your responsibility, watching over the taxpayer dollars, you have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that under the Anti-Deficiency Act, you are going to receive your 50% match coming back. So currently, the court decision has said, so the question is, have you made any changes, and who has actually made this decision? Did it go up to DOT? Is the White House aware that the FRA is not making any changes in its current procedures?
We are in discussions with the authority about their plans to continue to meet their obligations under this agreement. They have not failed to meet their obligations as far as we can determine to date. They have said they will continue to meet their obligations. And so we are going to continue to talk to them about this, but we have not made a decision.
A court has made a ruling. Today, currently, there is no state match. Now, the courts have said Prop 1A cannot be used. The $9.95 billion cannot be used under the current system. And April 1, $180 million is going to be owed back by your numbers, by your request, on that state match. So I understand the governor's been very creative, $250 million for the cap and trade dollars. But as I served in the state legislature, that vote has to be done by the legislature at the end of the fiscal year. Most of the time they're late, meaning July or August. How do they meet the April 1st deadline if it's even constitutional to do cap and trade, and if both liberals and conservatives in the legislature agree that cap and trade dollars should be used for this process? We're still talking August versus April.
I would suggest you address that question to Mr. Richard. We do recognize that acts of the legislature, that they are subject to appropriation, as is my next paycheck.
My concern is this does not seem to be raising any red flags.
We are very concerned about it, sir, and that is why we have been engaged in discussions with the authority about their plans.
So who made the final decision to continue to spend the dollars? Is that something that Mr. Szabo makes on his own? Is that something he takes to Secretary Fox? Is it something Secretary Fox takes to the administration?
We have not made a determination that they are in violation of their agreement, and so we have continued to make those payments in the ordinary course.
Ms. Dolan, do you think that they're in violation?
I think under the terms of the cooperative agreement as it stands at the moment, two things happen on April 1st. They may no longer take advantage of an advanced payment method and can only be granted federal funds under a reimbursement method. And according to the funding contribution plan as it exists in the cooperative agreement, funds starting in April of 2014 until it appears from the chart April of 2015 will be spent solely from the matching funds the state provides instead of the ARA funds as an effort to catch up, quote unquote, on the contributory match percentage that they're required to have. So at this point, considering that those contributory match funds are due in April of 2014, it doesn't appear that they violated the agreement right now as it stands.
So given the November ruling, does the FRA have the right under the grant agreement to suspend payment? Do they have the right to be able to suspend payment to the California High-Speed Rail Authority if they so choose?
So under Section 23 of the grant agreement, the FRA has several options for suspension and termination of the cooperative agreement if any number of circumstances exist. One of those possible circumstances is if the FRA makes a determination that the grantee will not be able to meet the contributory match percentage that's required under the agreement. So if the FRA determined that the authority would not be able to meet the contributory match percentage, then under the agreement they would have the option to suspend or terminate funding.
Thank you. I do have a follow-up question on that, but my time has expired. Ms. Brown.